Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a book haul and I am joined by my sick husband, Sean. And that's not sick like, man, he's so sick, like he's cool, which he is.
I'm actually sick.
He's actually sick.
I have walking pneumonia, so I am contagious. Today, I thought I would do my best to visit with you all.
To talk about some books.
Virtually. So this first one I got at Bookman's. This is Samaritan by Richard Price. I don't know what it's about. I did when I read the back of the book, but now I don't. He has not failed me, Mr. Price. I have enjoyed Clockers and Lush Life and The Whites. So this will be my fourth Richard Price book. And I think every time I'm afraid that it'll be the one that I don't like. But I have to get over that fear.
And you partially through usually think, oh, I don't think this is as good as the other one.
True, yeah.
And then you get to that and you're like, that was great. The next book that I got was only $4, also at our local used bookstore called Bookman's. And it's a Terry Brooks book. It's The Elfstones of Shannara. I got this because I've never read any Terry Brooks, and we met up with another person. I'll link their channel down below, another person who has a booktube channel. And we met up at this bookstore, and they've read a lot of Terry Brooks, and I've read none, so I kind of deferred to them and asked them what I should start with, and they said this one.
I love this cover. They're just barging into a castle or
It's like
something.
very old school cover.
Next book I got at Bookman's is Devil in a Blue Dress by Walter Mosley. I read another Walter Mosley book earlier, and I liked it. His latest book. And then this is an older one, I think, for him. It's the first in the Easy Rollins Mysteries series.
I actually have historical fiction as well. I have City of Girls. My friend Joshana from the channel Joshana C, she recently read this and it's a new favorite for her, and she has a whole dedicated review for it. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'll link her dedicated review. But we both think it sounds pretty fun. Joshana says it's one of the funniest books that she's read in a while. I actually really like historical fiction, but I just never know what to pick up. So if you guys have some historical fiction recommendations, feel free to leave those.
This next one is Bitterroot by James Lee Burke. It was like $3 at half price books, so can't beat that. But I've read one other James Lee Burke book. It is Neon Rain, and that's his Dave Robichaux series. This is a different series. I think this is the first one. If not, then I'm sure he has a troubled past or something. Takes place in Montana. There's a cowboy hat. I also got All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. I haven't read any Cormac McCarthy, which I feel like I need to fix.
You tried to read The Road.
I did. And
Didn't like it.
I didn't really get into it. But this one, I think, is more of a modern Western. Something about just going to Mexico and shenanigans ensue. So I'm looking forward to reading it. Hopefully it doesn't, put me to sleep.
Like The Road did.
Yes.
Next up, I got an adult fantasy book that I've heard a lot about. That'd be Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I've not read Uprooted, but I've heard really good things about Uprooted. I did read the first book in her Temeraire series, and I really enjoyed that book, but these are quite different. And for the most part, when people like these books, they seem to really like them. In fact, when I went to get this, it was at my local used bookstore. If you watched my recent unhaul, this is one of the books I spent some store credit on. But I went to pay for it, and the girl at the counter was like, oh my gosh, I love this book. And she was freaking out about it. And I was like, oh, cool, okay. And I've heard really good things, but I've also heard some kind of, this is a bit of a controversial book, or maybe in Uprooted or something where, I don't know, some kind of toxic romance or something. I guess I'll find out for myself. Next up, I got Once and Future. This is a King Arthur retelling, and it's very King Arthur. I think it fully embraces, it's got Merlin in it, and it's futuristic though, so this girl crash lands on Old Earth is apparently what it's called, and finds the sword, and then now she has these powers, and she wants to use these powers to go back home, but Merlin's like, no, you have to use these powers for other things.
I really enjoy how you have a whole synopsis and like you actually know what your books are about, and then I'm just like, I bought this because it's about cowboys.
But you've read other things by the
Yeah.
authors, though, so there's that.
That's true.
You read the backs when we purchase them.
And then I forget them
That's true.
immediately.
But you forget the
Entire
books.
books.
You read the books you've read.
And the last book I have is Elmer Leonard's Bandits. And I read one other book by Elmer Leonard. It was Kill Shot. It was a good, fun old time about bounty hunters going after a nice married couple. And I think this one is sort of like maybe like a heist story, like a fun little, like, they're stealing, but they're like...
Good guys.
Yeah, they're like good. So I like Elmer Leonard. I think he's swell. I'm looking forward to it.
And those sound fun. He reads a lot of really depressing, this guy's a drunk, and also his life is in shambles, partially because he's a drunk, but also because he's just got some issues in his past, but he's solving this really depressing crime, and that's what keeps him going. That's what a lot of his books are. So I feel like the occasional happy, fun story mixed in there. I hope that one's happy.
I hope it's happy, too.
Maybe it's really
Yeah.
dark. The cover's pretty funky. The last two books that I got were part of some subscription boxes. The first one would be through Fantasy Monthly, who I've been repping for the past couple of months. And it's been really nice because a lot of my anticipated releases from this year I've gotten through this book box, which is really cool. So they've got some books that I was already interested in. And what I like about this box is they tell you ahead of time what the book is going to be. So that's really nice because then you always know if you're going to want that book or not. And they have two different boxes that you can get. You can get one that has goodies and you can get one without the goodies. The October book was Beyond the Black Door. This is an anticipated release of mine. It follows a girl who, her and her mother have the ability to go into people's dreams, and she keeps on seeing this mysterious door when she's been going into people's dreams. It's been showing up in everybody's dreams, and her mom's like, don't go through that door, and then I think she's gonna go through the door. I got a really cute little pin this time that says reading is dreaming with eyes wide open. It also came with a couple of really pretty bookmarks that have a cute print on one side and then some quotes on the other. They also have a Facebook group that you can join, so that way you can kind of buddy read with other people who are getting the same book as you from Fantasy Monthly, and they have a little prompt card so you can discuss those, you can discuss other things. But that would be the book I got. I'm so excited that I got this because I was really wanting it. The last book that I got, we don't actually have yet because it's being sent to me from Book of the Month YA, and I actually let him pick this month because there was a few that I thought sounded pretty good, one and a couple that were anticipated releases, and he went with the one that he thought was the better cover. I'm sure you guys know by now, but the way Book of the Month works is that they give you multiple different options and then you pick the book you want. If you want to skip a month because they don't have any books that you're interested in, you can skip a month and then you can put that credit toward other books. You can get books that have come out in the past in case you missed one that maybe you join now, but you actually wanted this other book from before. So it's really cool how it's set up. It's very inexpensive. And the book that I got this month, like I said, I don't have it yet, but it is a companion novel to this story. And this one sounded really interesting. It's like a Snow White retelling, but I believe it's Asian inspired. And this new one is a different, I'm not sure if it's a retelling or if it's just kind of this similar fairy tale feeling, but it's about this girl who this guy asks her to marry him and then she's like no, and then somehow he gets trapped in this, I think in a musical instrument or something, and then she's gotta find a way to like free him from it or something very bizarre, but it sounded really fun and whimsical and that typical fairy tale thing where it's actually a really depressing, dark plot line, but it's told with such whimsy that it makes it fun. Anyway, that's it for some of the books that we've gotten recently. I'll have links to Book of the Month YA, I'll have links to Fantasy Monthly, and then just because I try to be always as transparent as possible, Book of the Month YA has done a new affiliate thing now where if you get so many people use your link to get Book of the Month, then you get a commission from it basically. So they've changed how their affiliate program works. But with Fantasy Monthly, I don't actually get anything out of it except for the book box. So just so you guys know how all that works on your end. But anyway, That's it. Let us know if you have some recommendations or if you've read any of these, if you've liked them or hated them. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.